So we've got a CNBC article here, and this was actually from over the weekend. The question that is on at least 7 people's minds is the fat man dead? South Korea says North Korean leader Kim Jong-un may be trying to avoid the CV. Un may have missed a key holiday on April 15th because of concerns over the Rona, not because he is ill, South Korea's Minister for North Korean Affairs said on Tuesday. North Korea said it has no confirmed cases of the virus. Wow, hey, everybody, let's book our flights right now to Pyongyang. It's safe there. But given the fact that the country has taken stringent steps to head off an outbreak, Kim's absence from the ceremonies is not particularly unusual. Unification Minister Kim Jong-un, who oversees North Korea engagement, told lawmakers. And in other sources I looked at, he and Un's sister were individuals that they talked about as being potential successors should, the fat man meet his untimely fate and demise. North Korean leader Kim's absence from public ceremonies on the birth anniversary of his grandfather and founder of the country, Kim Il-sung, was unprecedented, and he has not been seen in public since. That has led to days of speculation over his health. South Korean officials emphasize they have detected no unusual movements in North Korea and have cautioned against reports that Kim may be ill. North Korea has said it had no confirmed cases of the virus. We covered that part already, so we'll move to the next paragraph. It is true that he never missed the anniversary for Kim Il-sung's birthday since he took power, but many anniversary events, including celebrations and a banquet, had been canceled because of concerns, Kim Jong-chol said at a parliamentary hearing. He said there were at least 2 instances since mid-January where Un was out of sight for nearly 20 days. I don't think that's particularly unusual, given the current situation. U.S. President Donald Trump said on Monday he has a good idea of how Un is doing and hopes he is fine, but would not elaborate. Come on, Donnie, tell us, baby. Come on, let something slip on Twitter. It's actually surprising he hasn't let something slip on Twitter accidentally, right? Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe said he was aware of reports on Kim's health, and he was paying close attention to developments. North Korea had canceled some large events and imposed a border lockdown and quarantine measures in an effort to prevent an outbreak of the. But if Un is hiding out due to fears surrounding the 19, it would puncture a hole in the state media narrative of how this crisis has been perfectly managed, said Chad O'Carroll, CEO of Korea Risk Group, which monitors North Korea. And the media narrative, the state media narrative coming out of North Korea, who cares? Why would you believe anything they say anyway? There's no narrative. Whatever they're trying to tell you it is, why would you believe any of that narrative to begin with? It goes on to say if he is merely trying to avoid infection, it should theoretically be very easy to release photos or video of a healthy-looking Kim, he said. And that's 100 right there. That's what it's all about. And again, why would Chinese doctors have to fly there if we're to believe that that's what happened? An authoritative source familiar with U.S. intelligence reporting said on Monday it was entirely possible Kim had disappeared from public view to avoid exposure of the 19 and the sighting of his presidential train in the coastal resort area of Wonsan did suggest he may be there or may have been there recently. But the source said that since there was no authoritative backing for such a conclusion, U.S. agencies were also still considering the possibility that Kim might be ill, even seriously. 38 North, a Washington-based North Korean monitoring project, said on Saturday that satellite images from last week showed a special train that was probably Kim's at Wonsan, lending weight to reports he had been spending time in the resort area. While North Korean state media may not have reported on Un's whereabouts since he presided over a meeting on April 11th, they have carried near daily reports of him sending letters and diplomatic messages suggesting he is still carrying out his duties as leader. That suggests that he is still carrying out his duties, Unification Minister Kim said, although some experts say they are not necessarily conclusive. I agree with the South Korean government's assessment that there is no reason to think that Un is not performing his duties, said Rachel Min-young Lee, a former North Korean open-source intelligence analyst for the U.S. government. That said, I would not read too much into letters signed by Un. I would guess that most of them are not written by him anyway. That reminds me of that Trump tweet about Biden, about when he was saying that Biden's tweets aren't done by Biden, they're done by some Democratic operative. All right, so that's what we've got for that again. That's the update. Still speculation. And like I said before, in a video I put out a couple days on it where you had an individual named Katie Turd. I think she worked for MSNBC or something like that, where she was speculating, and this was on the 21st, speculating that he was already dead or he had some serious brain damage. And then there was also an individual who offered a retort. He was from the site Town Hall. I believe that's a conservative site. He talked about how she may be off, she may be wrong, and that he felt she jumped the gun on the story. Hey, that may be true, and they may both be right. He may actually be dead or brain dead or what have you, and perhaps she did jump the gun like the individual wrote about on Town Hall. So that said, that's the update. Not much going on, still some speculation. I think as days go on, there's more and more speculation, but I think that during this time, you can kind of see a situation where this isn't really making the news that much because of everything else going on. If this were a kind of a dead news period, this story you would think would be getting some play at least nightly on the news, that they would be talking about this on the daily, and you rarely hear anything about it. So again, I guess it's going to be one of those situations like I theorized in my last video where you're not going to get anything solid out of them for days or even weeks. That being said, I like what the individual here said in the piece. It hit it right on the head for me. He said, it'd be easy to just produce a photo and show us he's alive, instead of trying to fake these letters or whatever. And I'm assuming they're faking them or they're coming from other individuals within his government. Show a photo. Show the fat man eating cheese and wine. That's what they said he likes, right? So until I see some photo evidence that the dude is alive, I'm going to assume that he's probably not alive, and maybe he is brain dead or maybe in some vegetative state. Again, we'll wait for the information to come out and see what's going on with this. So take care, everybody. Thanks for listening, and thanks for watching. Take it easy.